Okay, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Hope everyone's doing well. Sadi Tes Amid Aleph. Hopefully you didn't fall behind. Says the Gemara. This is Shabbos' daf. And tomorrow we'll do Sunday's daf. Sadi Tes Amid Aleph. See, he even wore a white shirt for the occasion. Minahani Mili. Amar Reish Lakish. As did his father, having hashpah. Minahani Mili. Amar Reish Lakish. Da Amar Kra. Ha-Kohen ha-mechatei ota yochlana. Kohen ha-mechatei yochal. She'eno mechatei eno ochel. Again, it doesn't matter. Even if you missed a Mishnah, I will make sure that you are not lost, or I will do my best. So it says that the Kohen that's mechatei ota yochlana, the one who throws the blood, is the one who can eat. Now what does that imply? Only the one who throws the blood can eat. The one who doesn't throw the blood can't eat. And therefore what? Why is that the source? Because we said that a person who's a Tvul Yom and a Mechusar Kippurim, the one who went to the mikvah needs to wait till nighttime, or the one who still needs to bring korbanos, that person cannot eat. He cannot eat because he's usher to throw. Since he can't throw, he can't eat. That's the source for the beginning of our Mishnah. Says Gemara, Klala, who is that true? What kind of rule is that? We know that each mishmar, we know that it's divided up into mishmaros, and each family or each mishmar goes ahead and works for a week every year, etc., and then they rotate, and that entire mishmar gets to eat the korbanos that are allowed for that group. But what do we know? We know that there's only one Kohen that's throwing the blood. He's not eating all the korbanos, he's sharing it with his mishmar. So you're telling me that only the person who throws it, it's obviously not literal ha-kohen ha-mechatei osa, it's not literal the one who throws it, it's that other people eat as well. Says the Gemara, you're right. What it means is roy lechitoi kamrinan, a person who is fit to do the throwing. That excludes the Tvul Yom and the Mechusar Kippurim who are not fit to do the avoda. It means even though I didn't actually do the avoda and I appointed you, the fellow Kohen in the Mishmar, to do the avoda, since I was fit, we just only have one person to avoda, then I can eat. But you, the Mechusar Kippurim, the Tvul Yom, the one who went to the mikvah and the day's not over yet because of a certain tumah that you have, or you're missing the korbanos that you need to bring because of your tumah, you're not fit to do the avoda. If you're not fit to do the avoda, you're not roy lechol. But we know that that's not true either. Because you have a katan who can't do the avoda, and nevertheless he's allowed to eat. It must be that when it says that someone who's roy to do the avoda can eat, what it means is that someone who is roy to do the avoda can get a piece. What does that mean? There's a difference between getting a share in something and eating it. That means if I split something up, I can say you get a share and you get a share and you get a share. That doesn't mean that you two can't eat. Just means that if you want to eat, you're going to have to go find some friends and ask them to give you a piece. Or they're going to have to offer a piece. So we originally thought that only the Kohen who goes ahead and is roy to do the avoda gets to eat. That's not true. A Kohen can't do the avoda and he gets to eat. So that's not what the pasuk means. Yes, there are other people who are not roy to do the avoda who can eat, including a katan. What it means is that only a person that's roy to do the avoda, to exclude a katan, gets a share in it. Can a katan who's a Kohen eat? Yes, he can eat the korbanos. He just needs to find somebody to give it to him. He's not going to get his own share. That's what it means. Somebody in the mishmar who is roy to do the avoda, he will get his own share of the meat. Someone who's not roy to do the avoda, he can eat it, but he won't get his own share. That's including a katan. A Tvul Yom and a Mechusar Kippurim can't even eat. Not only will they not get a share because they're not roy, they're not going to be able to eat either because they're tamei. That's what the Gemara means. Roy lechitoi cholek, sheina roy lechitoi eno cholek. Says the Gemara, that's a nice interpretation, but the problem is, hare bal mum de eno roy lechitoi v'cholek. We know that there's a bal mum who's not allowed to do the avoda, and nevertheless he does get a share. Says the Gemara, you're right. In svara, it doesn't fit the svara, because if you're not right to do the avoda, you don't get a share. Balmum rachmana rabbi kol zachar b'kohanim l'rabos balmum. The pasuk includes one person who, in general, does not go ahead and who does not go ahead and fit the general klal. That's a balmum. A person that has a mum, even though he's not right to do the avoda, he is allowed to get a share and obviously eat. Ve'ema kol zachar l'rabos tvul yom. Maybe kol zachar includes a Tvul Yom, even though he's not right to do the avoda, we're going to let him get a share. Says Gemara, mistaber balmum havalei l'riboy sheken ochel. It's more mistaber that a balmum who's able to eat will get a share than a Tvul Yom who definitely can't eat. The question is again, maybe I can get a share and then I'll hold on to it until I can eat it. Says Gemara, it makes more sense to give a share to somebody who can eat. Again, the pasuk is including somebody that's not included in the general rule. General rule is that if you can do the avoda, you can eat. That excludes a katan, Sorry, if you do the avoda, you get a share. That excludes a katan, that excludes a balmum, that excludes a tvul yom. It says we're going to include something. What are we going to include? We're going to include a tvul yom. A tvul yom is allowed to get a share. Why are you including a tvul yom? Why are you not including a? Why are you including a balmum? Why are you not including a tvul yom? Because a balmum at least gets to eat. He's allowed to eat. Since he's allowed to eat, we're going to give him a share. We need to include somebody. We're going to include the guy who can eat anyway, so we're going to give him a share. Says the Gemara, maybe I should include the tvul yom, because the balmum is still going to be a balmum tomorrow. Tvul yom, when nighttime comes, as soon as he went to the mikvah, and when nighttime comes, he's going to be fit. He's going to be fit not only to eat, what else is he going to be fit to do? He's going to be fit to even do the avoda. So give him a share now. Says Gemara, at the end of the day, right now the tvul yom is not yet fit, even though he will be fit later. Therefore, he's not going to be included. And again, it comes out that a balmum will get a share and a tvul yom will not. Says Gemara, Rav Yosef Amar Michti. Rav Yosef gives another answer. How do we know what's going on here? Ma yochlana yichal kena. We just said that yochlana means that a kohen who's fit to do the avoda, he gets a piece. Says the Gemara, I understand. Lichto rachmana yichal kena. Ma yochlana. If it means that a person who's fit gets a piece, so what are you telling me that he gets to eat? It's not that he gets to eat. We know a katan gets to eat who's not fit. We said it means that he gets a piece. Well, if it means he gets a piece, then right, gets a piece. I understand. Says the Gemara, no, shma mina, that in order to get a piece, what do you need to do? You need to be fit to eat. That's why it says yochlena. Shma mina, roi lachila cholek, shena roi lachila ino cholek. You have to be fit to eat. Who's fit to eat? A balmum is fit to eat, therefore he can get a piece. A tvul yom is not fit to eat, therefore he cannot get a piece. A katan who happens to be fit to eat still can't get a piece because he's a katan. Good? Okay. Boy Reish Lakish. Never simple enough. Balmum. So we just said a balmum is included in the riboy kol zachar b'kohanim, all of the zachars, therefore a balmum, even though he's a balmum, since he can eat, he can get a piece. So again, if the balmum is part of the mishmar, he happens to have a little bit of a blemish, he's still going to be included in the divvying up. Now what's the question? Let's say the balmum is tameh. So what's the question? The question is that if the pasuk came along and specifically did a riboy for a balmum, maybe we say the riboy is across the board. It's a low plug. It doesn't matter. A balmum went ahead, and he really shouldn't get anything, but the pasuk includes him. If the pasuk includes him, then even if he's tameh, we're going to give him a piece. But in general, we say a person who's tameh can't eat, he doesn't get a piece. So is it that the riboy includes even a balmum who's tameh, or did the riboy just mean to include a regular balmum, but not a balmum who's tameh? That's the Gemara's question. Bar Reish Lakish balmum v'hu tameh mao sheyach lo kulo. Since he wasn't fit in the first place because he couldn't do the avoda, v'rachmana rabbi, but the rachmana included him by saying kol zachar b'kohanim yochal oto yochlana. So we said he's included loshna mali tamei mali balmum. Who cares if he happens to be tamei too? O dilma roy lachila cholek shena roy lachilena cholek. Or maybe no. You're not saying that it's a total riboy. It still needs to be somebody who's roy lachila. And l'maiseh, what are we saying? A tamei person is not roy lachila, even though a balmum is roy lachila. When he's tamei, he's not roy lachila. Amar Rabba Tashma from our Mishnah, Kohen Gadol Makriv Onain. Kohen Gadol can still bring a korban when he's in Onain, as opposed to a regular Kohen who can't bring when he's in Onain. Ve'ena Ochel, the Kohen Gadol cannot eat when he's in Onain. Ve'ena Cholek Lechol La'erev. And he can't get a piece. Says Gemara, Shmamina Roi Lachila Binan Shmamina. So we clearly learn that in order to get a piece, the most important thing is that you're Roi Lachila. And therefore, again, even though a balmum is included in getting a piece, that was only because he was Roi Lachila. Once a balmum becomes a tameh, he does not go ahead and get a piece. Good? Says Gemara, Bar Rav Oshia, tameh bekorbanot tzibor mao sheyach lo kulo. If you have a tameh person, what about, can he get a piece of the korban tzibor? What does that mean? Why should he be able to get a piece? He can't eat. Says the Gemara, mi amrinan ha-mechater marachmana v'hainami mechatehu, or dilma roi lachila cholek shein roi lachila eno cholek. Because what were you concentrating on the whole time? You're saying that as long as a guy is right to eat, you can give him a piece. But the beginning of the pasuk says a person who's right to do the avoda. Usually the two things come in hand with each other. If you're right to do the avoda, you're right to eat. If you're not right to eat, you're not right to do the avoda. There's one exception to the case. A korban tzibor, we know, a tamei kohen is right to do the avoda of a korban tzibor. So on one hand, he can do the avoda, the first part of the pasuk, kol ha-mechatei, and on the second hand, he can't eat. So if he's right to do the avoda, but he can't eat, do we still give him a piece? Do we say, yochlana yechal kana? Says the Gemara, Ravina Tashma Kohen Gadol Makrivonim Ve'eno Ochel Ve'eno Cholek Lechol Eresh Shmamina Roy Lachila B'Inan Shmamina. The most important thing is that he's Roy Lachila. Since this guy is not Roy Lachila, since he's a tameh, he will not get a piece of the korban. Eino no onein agea ve'eno makriv. So what's an onein? It's important to realize this. We're not going to get into the logistics right now. On the next daf, or on the back of the daf, we'll get into a little bit more. But an onain, for simple purposes, is a person who loses one of the sheva krovim, and in between the death and the burial, he's an onain. We're going to see in just a second, I might as well say it now, that midoraisa, an onain is only an onain on the day of the death. That means many people, let's say in Canada for instance, so a person passes away and the next day the relative is buried. Midoraisa, you're only an onain on the day of death. Even if the burial is not until tomorrow, you're only onain on the day of death. As we'll see, midrabanan, you're also an onain the night after the day of death. But on the deraisa and derabanan level, you're not actually an onain the day after death, the day of burial. Now, halacha lemaisa, when we talk about an onain, we speak about aninus from the time of death until the time of burial. Therefore, therefore, as some people know, unfortunately, you're not going to be chayiv in any mitzvos. You're not chayiv in anything, even talis and tefillin, until the day of burial, even if it's a day or two later. Again, but midoraisa, and the way that the Gemara is assuming, as we'll see, is on the doraisa level. If a person finds out about a death today, so midoraisa, they're only going to be an onain today. Midorabanan, they'll be an onain tonight as well. But tomorrow, especially if the burial is not till Sunday, tomorrow they would not be halachically, again, we lemaisa don't paskin like this specifically, but midoraisa or midorabanan, they will not be an onain tomorrow. So let's see what it says here. Onain nogea ve'eno makriv. An onain in general, whenever he's an onain, he's allowed to touch korbanos, but he can't be makriv korbanos and he can't eat korbanos. Onain nogea, can an onain really touch korbanos? Or minhi, we have a brisa or a mishnah in Chagiga that says onain umechusar kippurim tzrichin tefila lakodesh. An onain needs tefila lakodesh. What does this imply? This implies that an onain, once he does tefila, he can touch. This is assuming that he does tefillah again, the day of the aninus. So the person dies today, he finds out, he does tefillah, he goes in the mikveh today, now he could touch kodesh. But that implies that he needs tefillah before he could touch. Our Mishnah says nothing about tefillah. Our Mishnah seems to say an onain, no matter what, even if he didn't go to the mikveh, he could still touch korbanos. He can't eat them, he can't be makriv them, but he could still touch them. So what is it? Does an onain need to go to the mikveh to touch korbanos, or does he not need to go to the mikveh to touch korbanos? Amar Rami, Amar Yochanan lo kashya. Kan b'shetaval, kan b'shelo taval. Over there in our Mishnah is when, here in our Mishnah is when he already went to the mikveh. If he went to the mikveh, again, he finds out about the death today, he goes to the mikveh today, he can go ahead and he can touch korbanos. Over there it says he hasn't yet gone to the mikveh. If he hasn't yet gone to the mikveh, he can't touch korbanos. Once he goes to the mikveh, he can touch the korbanos. V'chitava may have. Says the Gemara, it's a weird thing to say. What happens if an onain goes to the mikveh and he comes out? What happens when he comes out? He's still an onain. It's like tovel v'sheretz biyado. It's like being tovel holding a dead animal. You come out and you still. This is an interesting shiloh. Why is he going to the mikveh in the first place? But it sounds like, again, the given is that an onain needs to go to the mikveh. So the Gemara says, "V'chitava ma'havei hahadra aleh aninus damar Rabba bar Ravuna onain shetavel alinaso choseres alav lo kashya had asach daite had lo asach daite." So what's it saying now? It's saying both of them went to the mikveh. The onain part of the process, so he goes to the mikveh. Now the onain went to the mikveh. So why, if the onain went to the mikveh, in our Mishnah he could touch korbanos, and in that Mishnah in Chagiga he can't touch korbanos. Says the Gemara, because it has a difference with what happens after he goes to the mikveh. Now an onain who goes to the mikveh, he still cannot eat kachim. He can't eat the korbanos until the day after, until his aninus is over. What happens when you know you can't eat something? If he can't eat it anyway, what's he going to do? He's not going to be so careful what he touches. He's going to be careful in general what he touches. He wants to make sure that he stays tahor so that he can eat the kachim. But if he's not going to be able to eat it anyway, then he's not going to be so careful about what he touches. So the Gemara says that an onain who goes to the mikveh, if he has hesach hadas, if he says, you know what, I can't eat kachim today anyway, so I'm not going to be so careful what I touch, that person, if he wants to touch kachim, he needs to go to the mikveh again and make sure that he's careful with his hands and where he finds himself during that day. Our Mishnah, which says that an onain can touch kachim, is assuming that he went to the mikveh and he had no hesach hadas afterwards. He was careful after he went to the mikveh not to touch anything. Even though he knows he can't eat kachim, he's careful not to touch anything. We'll talk about this in a second. We're going to delve a little bit further. But over there where it says that if he wants to touch kodesh, he needs to go to the mikveh again. So again, both of them went already. But over there where it says if he wants to touch kachim, he needs to go to the mikveh, it means if he wants to touch kachim, he needs to go to the mikveh again because he wasn't so careful when he came out of the mikveh the first time. Says the Gemara, I don't understand. Hesach hadas shlishi ushvi bai. Okay, very nice answer, but if you're going to tell me that he had hesach hadas and he's not careful what he touched, so then why now is it okay for him to just go to the mikveh again and touch kachim? What do we have to be nervous about if he had hesach hadas? If he wasn't paying attention, what do we have to be nervous about? That maybe he touched a dead person. What happens if he touched a dead person? He can't just go to the mikveh and touch kodesh. What does he have to do? He needs to get sprinkled by the paraduma. So make up your mind. Either we're not worried, and therefore he doesn't have to go to the mikveh again, which is our Mishnah, Or we are worried, and then we should be worried across the board that he touched a dead person also, especially when he's an onein. Maybe he touched his relative. Again, an onein by definition, we're not assuming touched his relative. But maybe touch his relative, whatever it is. And now Lamaisa, not only should he have to go to the mikveh to touch kachim, he should have to have the sprinkling on the 3rd and the 7th day. Says the Gemara, what's the obvious answer? Lo kashya hada asach daite mitame meis hada asach daite mitame sheretz. When he says you need 3 and 7 sprinkling, that means you were totally no holds barred. I can't eat anyway. I'm just going to go do all the things I always wanted to do. I'm going to drive where I wanted to drive. I'm going to touch what I wanted to touch. I'm not paying attention to anything. That guy obviously needs 3 and 7. Over here, our case where it says that if he goes to the mikveh alone, that's going to be enough. Without the paraduma, without the hazaz of the paraduma, he was careful enough not to touch tumah mace. Tumas sheretz he wasn't so careful of, because I can't eat anyway. But tumas mace I'm never going to touch. I'm going to be careful about that. So if he was careful about tumas mace, obviously he's not going to have the hazaz of 3 and 7. Says the Gemara, Tamei sheretz, Tamei malyahu, hariv shemesh bai. If we're worried about Tamei sheretz, then why should he be able to go to the mikveh and touch the kachim right away? We know that by Tamei sheretz, if you go to the mikveh, you still have to wait for hariv shemesh. You have to wait till the sun goes down in order to become tar, to be able to touch kachim. And if this is true, this whole discussion, then why are we only talking about an onein who wants to touch kachim? We should be the same halacha with an onein who wants to touch truma, because he can't touch truma if he's a tumas sheretz either. So if it's a tamei tumas sheretz, we should say that he can't touch kachim and he can't even touch truma. Says the Gemara, you're right. It must be a different thing. Amar b'yirmiyah b'omer, what's the case? Nishmarti midavar ha-tameini v'lo mishmarti midavar ha-poslani. What's the difference between something that's metame you and something that's posel you? Something that's puzzle, when we say something's puzzle, it itself is tamei, but it can't be metame other things. Something that's tamei is tamei itself, and it can also be metame other things. So what did he say? He says, I was careful from anything that was hitmani. I was careful from sheretz. I was careful from tamei mace. I was careful from tumah d'oraisa. Therefore, I can touch truma. Why does he have to go to the mikveh in order to touch kachim? Because he wasn't careful from tumah d'rabanan. He wasn't careful from tumah d'rabanan. If he was careful from tumah d'oraisa, he could still touch truma without going to the mikveh. If he wasn't careful from tumah d'rabanan, now he needs to go to the mikveh to touch kachim. But since it was only tumah d'rabanan, he doesn't need to go ahead and wait for hariv shemesh. That's what the Gemara answers. So again, it comes out that he was careful from all tumah that would disqualify him from truma. Therefore, it doesn't say anything about truma. He wasn't careful from all tumah across the board. Therefore, he wants to touch kachim. He needs to go to the mikveh, but the mikveh will be enough because it's only tumah d'rabanan. Says Gemara, umiika netirusa lapalga. Is there such a thing that you could watch yourself halfway? You either watch yourself or you don't watch yourself. No such thing as halfway. Yes, v'hatanya. Remember, v'hatanya can be a question or it could be bendichusa. It could be a support. We have a support. Odeyu asal al rosho. If you have a basket of figs, 99b. Turn the page. Umagrefa besochon, you have a shovel in the basket of figs. Va'amar, and he says, Libi ala salvein, libi ala magrefa. I'm making sure that the basket doesn't become tamei, but I'm not making sure that the shovel doesn't become tamei. Hasal tahor v'amagrefa tamei. You clearly see the basket can be tahor, but the shovel we have to assume is tamei because you weren't careful about the shovel. Utatami magrefa l'sal. Fine, so I see that you could be careful halfway. But if that's true that you weren't careful with the shovel, so why doesn't the shovel become tamei without getting too much into the laws of tumah and tar? It's too early in the morning. So why don't we assume that the shovel became tamei and then the basket becomes tamei not from touching tumah but from the shovel? Says the Gemara, ein kli metame kli. One kli cannot be metame another kli. Umetame masha betocho. So then at least let the shovel be metame the figs that are inside of the basket. Says the Gemara, amarava be'omer. What does he say? Shmartia midavra tumah. I watched over the shovel. For sure I watched over the basket. And even the shovel I watched over from it touching a tamei thing. V'lo shmartia midavra posla. I watched over it from touching something that'll make it tamei, which will then be able to be matame other things, but I didn't watch over it from becoming pasul. So it's possible that the shovel became pasul, but I made sure that the shovel will not become tamei again, therefore it cannot be matame other things. Therefore we have to be choshesh that maybe the shovel became pasul / tamei, but I don't have to be worried that the shovel then went ahead and was matame anything else. But again, for our purposes, what we see over here is that you can be worried about certain things halfway and not the whole way. Says the Gemara, Igalgal milsa umate lekame Rabbi Ava bar Mamel. The whole milsa went ahead and got around, basically. It rolled. That means that this word got out, and it came to the base medrash of Rabbi Abba bar Mamel. Amar leilo shmiel lehu. Hadam Rabbi Yochanan. Amar Rav. Amar Rabbi Ha'ochel shlishi shel truma. Asr lechol mutar liga. Amal ba'achila avid rabbanan mala b'negia la'avid rabbanan mala. He gives another answer. He gives another answer between the Mishnah and Chagiga, which says that you have to go to the mikveh again, and our Mishnah says you don't have to go to the mikveh again. It's not talking about truma at all. The Mishnah in Chagiga, which requires you going to the mikveh, that's talking about eating sacrificial foods. If you're an onen and you want to eat sacrificial foods, then you have to go to the mikveh. Our Mishnah, what's it talking about? Touching sacrificial foods. If you want to touch sacrificial foods, then you don't have to go to the mikveh. But again, we're not dealing with truma. We have no kashas, and shalom al Yisrael. Says the Gemara, Ve'eno cholek lecho. We said that an onen cannot go ahead and be given a piece. Not only can he not eat, he cannot go ahead and be given a portioned a piece. And we said again, just as a reminder, Aninas Midaraisa is the day of death. Aninas Midarabanan is the night after the day of death. So if somebody passed away today, Rahman al-Litzlan, their relative would be an Onei Midaraisa today. That's where the real halachas of tefillin come in. But again, we're machmir all the way until the burial. Aninas Midarabanan would be tonight. And as of tomorrow, even though there was no burial, they would no longer, quote-unquote, halachically be an Onein, even though the Maisa we don't say like that. Says the Gemara, so an Onein cannot get a piece.
So there's Onein on Shabbos?
Again, I'm not talking about, I'm just giving an example. But there's no Aninus on Shabbos anyway. But the point is that Midaraisa, if it was a Monday, Tuesday, then on the Tuesday he's not an Onein anymore. Even though, again, we say that he's an Onein until the burial. Says Gemara, Miflaku de lo palig v'chimezamne le'achil. So it sounds like over here that an Onein does not get a portioned a piece, but we said even if you don't get a portioned a piece, you might still be able to eat if you have a nice friend who gives you. So it sounds like an onen can eat even though he's not a portioned a piece. He doesn't get his own share, but if he's invited by others, he could partake. Or mini, we have a shaila because in the Mishnah in Psachim it says onen tovel va'ochel es pischol erev avalo kachim. It sounds like an onen can go ahead and eat the korban pesach at night, but he can't eat kachim. For sure, you can't eat them during the day. So what do you see over here? You see that a korban pesach, again, so it makes sense if you think about it now. Why, if there's an onen, let's say the person passes away on Erev Pesach, on the 14th of Pesach. So we said an onen can eat the korban pesach at night. That makes a lot of sense. Why? Because the aninus at night is what? Derabanan. Therefore, the korban pesach midaraisa. The Rishonim talk about even if it was deraisa, maybe you should push it off. I say doche, fine. But in general, the aninus is derabanan the night after the death. So the death was Erev Pesach during the day. That following night, which is the Pesach Seder, aninus is only derabanan. Therefore, he can eat from the korban pesach, which is a deraisa requirement, because again, it's pushing off an aninus derabanan. It doesn't push off the regular eating from regular korbanos. So what do you see? You see that either way, you see it contradicts our Mishnah. Our Mishnah implies that an onen, even the day of, but for sure the night after, an onen can eat korbanos when the aninus is derabanan. And over there it implies that he would only eat the korban pesach, but he can't eat regular korbanos. Amar v'yirmi difti lo kashya. Kan bepesach, kan b'shar yimot hashana. No, our Mishnah, which says that he can eat, is talking about the korban pesach. The Mishnah in Psachim is talking about the rest of the year. Now this is very hard to hear. It's saying our Mishnah, which mentions nothing about Pesach, is talking about Pesach. And it says that you can eat. The Mishnah over there, which mentions the Korban Pesach, is not talking about Pesach, and says you can eat. Now, obviously, the Mishnah which is talking about Korban Pesach is talking about Korban Pesach. But when it says, Lo yochal kachim, you can't eat kachim, that's not talking about the night of Pesach, it's talking about every other night of the year. Manishtan alay lazeh. Bepesach aidid yochal Pesach achal nami kachim. B'shari mazashana de lo chazi, lo chazi. That's interesting. So the Chiddush is what? That since you could eat the Korban Pesach the night of the Seder, which is only aninus derabanan, assuming the person died in Erev Pesach, we're also going to allow you to eat regular kachim. So our Mishnah, which says that he could eat kachim, what's it talking about? It's speaking about the night of the Seder. The night of the Seder, he can eat kachim because again, midaraisa, he needs to eat the Korban Pesach, and it's only aninus derabanan. Once he could eat the Korban Pesach, we're going to allow him to eat all korbanos that night. What was the Mishnah Pesachim talking about? It mentioned that on Pesach you can eat that night Korban Pesach. When it says that you can't eat kachim, it's talking about every other night of the year. You can't eat kachim if you're an onen midirabanan. What does it mean aval lo bekachim by the Mishnah Pesachim? Aval lo bekachim shall kol hashana. You can only eat the Korban Pesach that night, but you can't eat kachim the rest of the year. That's one answer. So again, it comes out that you can eat the Korban Pesach. You can also eat other korbanos. What other korbanos are you eating the night of the Seder? The Korban Shlamim, the Chagiga. So you can eat the Korban Pesach, you can eat the Chagiga the night of the Seder, but you can't go ahead and eat kachim when you're an onen any other night of the year, when you're onen even derabanan. Ravasi gives another answer. Lo kashya. Kan shemeis lo meis barabasar v'kivro barabasar. Kan shemeis lo meis b'shoshasar v'kivro barabasar. Yom kvura lo tafis leila midarabanan. Interesting. The second answer given, which is also an interesting answer, is why does it say sometimes you can eat and sometimes you can't eat? When it says that you can eat, so what's that speaking about? That's when the person dies on our basar, and the burial when he dies on our basar and the burial was on our basar. So what can you eat at night? Only the korban pesach, because the night is what? The night is the night right after the aninus. Again, the aninus was during the day. They buried him that day. So the night after that aninus is what? The night after that aninus is only midrabanan. But what happens when he dies on the 13th and you bury him on the 14th? And now we're talking about the Pesach Seder. You can eat everything. Why? Because it's no longer aninus. Yeah. That's the answer. The answer is not necessarily korban Pesach versus other thing. It's when the mitzias is. The mitzias is, again, it comes out. When you're at aninus-torah-comment, mitzias means the details. It's just the logistics are as follows. Mitzias means the logistics. So again, it comes out that korban Pesach for sure you could eat, even if the person dies on the 14th, everybody agrees you could eat the korban Pesach that night. They seem to say that, again, according to the first answer, not only could you eat the korban Pesach that night, you could eat all kachim that night, but any other night of the year, you can't eat kachim the night after the person dies because that's aninus-torah-comment. When we bring the second answer, we're similar, but we're basically saying that the reason that we're letting you eat is not necessarily can you eat other kachim, unclear, but the reason you can eat is because the night that we're talking about is the night after. Everyone agrees that the night after the death, that means if the death was today and the burial was tomorrow, then tomorrow night for sure you could eat everything. Yeah. So that's what comes out again, just so that we know. It comes out that aninus-torah-comment, you could still eat the korban Pesach. Maybe you could also eat other korbanos once you're eating the korban Pesach, but everybody agrees that the night after the day of aninus, like the second day that night, even the second day, but the following night for sure, you can eat korbanos.
It's not really the Raisa requirement to eat the chagiga, there's enough meat on the Pesach.
But again, the point is that once you're allowed to eat the Pesach, you can eat anything. Says the Gemara, Man tana aninus laila d'Rabbanan. So now we're just going to finish the daf with this following shaila. This is all based on the fact that, again, the night after the death, so if the death is today, tonight is aninus d'Rabbanan. Today is aninus d'Oraisa, tonight is aninus d'Rabbanan. Who is the one that holds that the aninus, the night after the day of the death, who holds that that's aninus d'Rabbanan? Mantan aninus laila d'Rabbanan, which is why you can go ahead and eat the korban Pesach and even eat kachim that night, assuming you're eating it with the korban Pesach. Rabbi Shimon he detanya aninus laila midivrei Torah divrei Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Shimon Omer onein eno midivrei Torah ela midivrei Sofrim. What's the proof that it's only midivrei Sofrim and it's only d'Rabbanan? Teida sharei amru onein tovel va'ochel es pischo la'erev v'lo bekachim. Because you clearly see that he could eat the korban Pesach, but he can't eat kachim. The fact that he could eat kachim, the fact that he can eat the korban Pesach shows that it's not deoraisa. Again, this is where the Rishonim plug in. But the Gemara seems to be making an assumption that had aninus been deoraisa the night after the death, like tonight, had it been deoraisa, he wouldn't even be able to eat the korban Pesach. That's where the Rishonim come in and say, why not? Even if it was aninus deoraisa, why can't you eat the korban Pesach? After all, it should be asay dochel los asay. Doesn't asay to eat the korban Pesach. A los asay of eating it, there's a kares for not eating the korban Pesach. So it could be, again. But it comes out, the Gemara is making a diuk that had there not been, that the Gemara is making a diuk that had it been aninus deoraisa, you would not have been able to eat the korban Pesach. Says the Gemara, clearly aninus is only d'Rabbanan. You have what?
You have an eitzah doing Pesach Sheni.
Okay, but that's not lechatchila. But the point is that
situation.
Right. So again, it comes out, but the Gemara is proving that since you can eat the korban Pesach that night, and there would be no other heter, which is what the Rishonim question, but according to the Gemara, there would be no other heter to eat the korban Pesach that night. It must be that aninus is only d'Rabbanan that night, and therefore lemaisa you can eat the korban Pesach. Says the Gemara. Rabbi Shimon aninus laila mi d'Rabbanan. Does Rabbi Shimon really hold that aninus laila is only d'Rabbanan? V'atani Rabbi Shimon omer onein eno mishaleach korbanosav. He can't send his korban. What's the obvious question? Umayla v'afilu b'Pesach. It seems like he can't tonight. If tonight was the 14th of, if tonight's the 15th of Pesach, he couldn't eat the korban Pesach tonight. Says Gemara, lo lebar mi Pesach. Obviously, he's talking about he can't do any korbanos except for the Pesach korban, like we said. V'atani Rabbi Shimon omer. Listen to this. It's a very interesting brisa. Either way, Rabbi Shimon omer. Listen to this. Shlamim. When it says the word shlamim, you can only bring a shalem kishehu shalem mevi ve'eno mevi kishehu onin. Very interesting. The word shlamim means you can only bring it when you're emotionally there. When you're not half asleep. No, when you're not half an onin. When you're not half an onin, then you can go ahead and you can bring the shlamim. So an onain is not emotionally 100% there, therefore he can't bring a shlamim. Now we're going to include all other karbanos from the shlamim. Minayin l'rabba says atoda, marbani is atoda, just kenecheles besimcha k'shlamim. Since it's eaten besimcha like a shlamim, only if you're besimcha, even only if you're not an onain. So therefore you can't eat a shlamim, and you can't bring a shlamim, you can't bring a toda. Minayin l'rabba says ola. How do you know an onain can't bring an ola? Because it's similar to a shlamim. Marbani is ola, just kein bab and neder and nedava k'shlamim. It comes with a neder or a nedava like shlamim. Minayin l'rabba bechor meiser upesach. This is fascinating. We're going to have to see. This is the reason we're bringing this whole thing. How do you know that an Oni can't bring a Pesach? It's not for a chet, like a shlamim. So we're going to see in a second. We're obviously going to question this. We just said that an Oni can bring a Pesach. Now it's saying an Oni can't bring a Pesach. How do you know that an Onin can't bring a chatas and asham? Talmud-lomar zevach, any type of thing that's shechted, that includes a chatas and asham. Minayin l'rabas ha'ofos v'amenachos v'yayin v'itim v'alavona, which are not shechted. Talmud-lomar shlamim korban al kol korban asher umevi kishu shalim mevi v'einu mevi kishu onin. Kitani miha pesach. It says that a korban pesach an onin can't bring. You told me that onin is only midirabanan that night, but lamais it seems like an onin is daraisa. That's why he can't bring a korban pesach that night. Says no pesach kidei nasve. This is an interesting answer. Says usually when you talk about bechor and meiser, pesach has the same halachas. So usually we group them all together. Right? Bechor and Meiser Pesach. But over here it says Bechor and Meiser Pesach. It doesn't really mean Bechor and Meiser Pesach. It means Bechor and Meiser. Pesach ain't a chanami you can bring when you're an onin. Rav Sheshes Amar, I don't like that answer so much. Rav Sheshes says, my Pesach, no. What does it mean when it says you can't bring a korban Pesach? It doesn't mean you can't. Of course you can bring the korban Pesach. It's only aninus midirabanan. The korban Pesach is midiraisa. What does it mean Shalmei Pesach? Arguing on what we said before, that once you can go ahead and eat the korban pesach, you can eat all the other korban. It says no. When it says you can't bring a pesach as an onin, you can't bring the shalmei pesach, the chagiga, but you could still bring the korban pesach itself. So then what's the chiddush? You just told me you can't bring a shlamim when you're an onin. So what do you have to tell me you can't bring the shalmei pesach? That's part of the shlamim. Says the Gemara, no, it's a different category. And you would have thought that even if you can't bring shlamim as an onin, maybe you could bring the shalmei pesach for the exact reason we said on top. Because you can bring the Pesach, you bring the Shalmei Pesach as well. Kamash Malan, it needs to teach you, not only can you not bring the Shlamim when you're an Onain, you can't bring the Shalmei Pesach, the Chagigi either, but you can still bring the Pesach. Tana Shlamim Haboin Machmas Pesach. Tana Shlamim Haboin Machmas Atzman. Dilo Tana Shlamim Haboin Machmas Pesach. Sagadech Minahol Machmas Pesach Atzi. Kigufei Pesach Dami. Kamash Malan. So again, why does it have to say Shlamim twice? A, to tell you that an Onain can't bring a Shlamim, but if it only tell you an Onain can't bring a Shlamim, you might think an Onain can bring a Shlamim that's connected to the Korban Pesach, i.e. the Chagiga. It needs to tell it to you again, to tell you that not only can he not bring a regular Shlamim, he can't bring the shlamim that's connected to the korban pesach, but he can in fact bring the korban pesach itself. Shkoyach everyone. We'll pick up.